Today's episode is going to be around TikTok marketing, building your TikTok for your nail business. This is a huge one. If you want to understand how to do this, we're going to talk all about it right now on the Biz Talk. All right, guys. So today, as you can see, it is a solo venture. I used to do these Biz Talks back in the day by myself. And since then, Tracy has been a great co-host chatting about nails. Today, she is busy in the warehouse. So I'm going to walk you through an area that I have a particular passion for, which is marketing, specifically TikTok. And I've done episodes in the past with TikTok, but so much has changed with this platform in the past year that I feel like we need to do a refresher. If you guys have not taken my marketing course for young nails, I do cover this part of it. And as a matter of fact, I cover like a ton of other things, all the platforms, everything, and questions, and we look at your accounts and see what you're doing. But I do want to focus on TikTok today specifically because of how important it is, okay, for your nail business. Now, me, myself, okay, I spend, and I hate to admit this, but this is true, I spend most of my time on TikTok, okay, where it used to be Instagram and Facebook, but my priority in terms of content consumption is TikTok is number one. Instagram and YouTube are kind of back and forth because I love watching educational videos on YouTube. I like long form content, so I still go there. And then last would be Facebook, okay? Now, why do I spend most of my time on TikTok? You want to know why? Because I've really become very interested in the short form content plus education and learning. Okay, so let me explain what that means. TikTok has become a great way of, I feel like, taking like hours of information, and piling it into like a 15 to 20 to 30 second video. For example, cooking. Okay, I've become obsessed with like cooking content, and it's not even so much the cooking itself, which is interesting to me. But what I'm looking at is like, how are these people teaching me how to cook a steak in 30 seconds? That's the part that fascinates me more than anything. Now, I've taken it to the test, and I've actually gone on TikTok, looked up steaks, and I've cooked a decent steak by watching this fast moving content on TikTok. I've become obsessed with creating short form content and making it extremely educational because that's what I'm consuming, okay? Now, this whole episode is really directed around you being on TikTok. And so like this is kind of my way of like guiding you a little bit, right? Thinking about how you can teach something on TikTok, nail content, in short form fashion. All right. The thing about TikTok is this platform has changed a lot over the last few years. Okay. When we first started on the platform, we were creating content that was like satisfying video. So what you would see is like acrylic flowing down the nail in a time lapse. And it looked amazing and it was very satisfying. And so we really grew our account extremely fast. But just like anything else on social media, that plateaued. Okay. It was, we did a lot of it and it stopped working, right? Stopped working, meaning we weren't like growing as fast as we were when we first started doing that content. So we had to make adjustments and change. At that time, educational content wasn't so big on the platform, as it is today, but we had to change something. So at that time, started tweaking the content from satisfying into more like short clips of education. What can we do to make this more educational? And boom, this was in around July of 2020, okay, where we made that change. And boom, we hit another growth path and started like on this upswing again. And then guess what? It stopped working again and the account plateaued. Recently, we've made some more changes and started just taking a different look on education. So we're keeping the content education, but instead we're doing voiceovers now. Okay. So, and the reason why is because a lot of the time, like when our team is cutting micro content from a video, you only have what the artist is saying in that moment. So it might be a great piece of content, but maybe what they're saying in that moment doesn't cover all the details that need to be discussed, okay? So it's still a good clip. So our team gets the clip, and then I can do a voiceover over that clip on something extremely specific and a lot more detail to give that more depth of education, right? And then what we've been doing lately also is putting these like very big sort of bright subtitles that help. And I realized that's the type of content I like to consume. And so we've implemented that into our content, and then now, boom, once again, we're seeing this increase. So I've just sort of puked out a ton of information in a matter of minutes. So I want to back up a little bit, okay? Couple things are, the first is this app is extremely relevant because it has done a great job of putting educational content in a short form format where you can actually learn something. Okay. TikTok has done a great job of that. If you want to get into more depth, you typically go to YouTube, you know? But TikTok has really done a great job. So that's why it's important, because it is a place now where you can go to get short form education and with depth. Okay. The other part is, if you've been trying to grow on the platform and you find yourself frustrated, you have to be patient, because as I just went through myself, this platform has changed so many times in a short period, to the point where even what was working for us, it completely stopped working, and we had to sort of reinvent things, put different kinds of content. That worked, it stopped working, had to sort of reinvent ourselves again. And that's a never-ending process with social media, okay? And TikTok is no different. So if you've been feeling frustrated with, I'm creating content, it's not working, please don't worry. Like, the platform has changed quite a bit. One thing I would very much urge you to do is go to I always recommend this with Instagram, with Facebook, with YouTube. If you're interested in creating content for that platform, go to our channel and look at what we are doing. Find the videos that seem to be working on the platform and take that as a piece of information. For example, recently we did a like how to pick up gel out of a jar video, and it did really good. It went viral. You know, I think it's got like 1.4 million views right now. This was last week. Okay, who would have ever thought how to pick up gel out of a jar would go viral? You just don't know. So that's why you have to go through ours and look and see, hey, what are the videos that have over 100,000 views? What are the videos that have 300,000, 500,000? What are the videos that have over 1 million views? Start asking yourself, why? You know, I do that with our own content. Our team cuts up tons of micro, okay? And then I go through the micro, and based on what I've seen explode on our own TikTok, I go through our micro content with those eyes, and I think to myself, okay, could this one work? Could this one work? How can I, what were we doing? in that million+ view video where I can recreate that? Did I start off with, here's 3 things that do X, Y, and Z? Did I start off with, you're doing this wrong, this is how you do it correctly? What did I start out with on the content? You know what I mean? What's the visual that Jorge captured when shooting the video? What is the slice that he cut? Is there something else similar to that? Or can I make it work similar to the video that got over 1 million views? That's the process that you have to go through, okay? It's funny because it's random, but not random. And what I mean by that is, it's random in the sense of what goes viral. You have zero idea. There's no way to know what's going to go viral. It's not random in the way of we made that happen, right? By looking at previous pieces of content that have done exceptionally well and tried to recreate it. And we didn't know which one was going to hit, but we're pretty sure something is going to hit based on the fact that we're being very methodical about the process. Looking at what has worked in the past, going back into the micro content that our team has cut up, pulling something, doing the voiceover and the subtitles. All of that is not random. We just don't know which one is going to hit. If you're creating content on TikTok and you're just going about your business and just posting stuff, which is perfectly fine. You should do that. Like, that should be the base, right? You should just post stuff, and you need to do that. After you get consistent with posting, the next step is, okay, of the posts that I made, which ones seem to do good? Can I recreate another post with that same vibe and same style and see how that does? What I would do if I were you is I would go back to, like I said, our account and say, hey, what's worked on Young Nell's site? What are they doing? You know what I mean? Try to recreate that vibe and maybe the same subject matter. Like if a filing video did really good, maybe you do a filing video on a similar topic, but you do it in your way, in your style. See if that does well. To me, that's not copying. That's like you're being inspired by a piece of content. You're putting it in your own words. You're doing it in your own way. And you're recreating content for your TikTok account. I think that's great. You know what I mean? But that is the method to the madness. That is how you start getting into content creation mode and you got to get sort of methodical about it. And then here's the big thing. A big piece of the puzzle is, even when the content is not doing well, you keep posting. And I think that's the hardest part for a lot of people. On top of that, continuing to hammer away to try to figure out what is going to work. I had a conversation with Jorge this morning on why this one video did well. And I literally looked at him and I was like, no idea. And we don't know, and that's part of the randomness is, you don't know which piece of content is going to hit. But the hardest part for people is continuing to post when your content is not doing well, so to speak, right? In terms of the vanity metrics of likes and comments and views and all that stuff, right? That's how most people judge if a piece of content is doing well. If your piece of content doesn't have, 2,000 likes or this many views, you assume it must not be good. But that is absolutely not the case. Even on a piece of content that, let's say, gets, for us, let's say it gets 25,000 views, right? There could be but we believe we've put together a good piece of educational content that's going to help somebody. To me, that's still good content. And I still want to post it because there might be 1, 2, 5, or 100 people that see that that get inspired and they're like, oh my gosh. And then maybe they try our product because of it. You know what I mean? That to me is more successful than a viral video that does nothing. You know what I mean? Like does nothing in terms of doesn't allow us to connect with somebody, maybe get a loyal customer for us to partner with. If the content is just like somebody sees it and then they just keep scrolling, to me that's not a great. It's not doing anything for our business. So you've got to have a combination. You have to have a different understanding. You can't just judge your content on views, likes, and comments. You know what I mean? So the reason why I'm saying that is because you got to keep posting even when views might be lower, likes might be lower, so on and so forth. We go through this all the time with content. There's just this up and down rhythm. You know, content does good and we know it's not going to last long. It goes down. We know that's not going to last long. Eventually we'll figure it out to get the content, you know, all those metrics back up. It's just this ebb and flow and it's constant. And with that, I will say start posting your videos on TikTok. I hope there's something that I've said in today's Biz Talk that will help you to post consistently on TikTok. It is one of the most important social media platforms today, in my opinion. I don't think there's any question about it anymore. People were questioning it maybe 3 years ago. Today, there is no doubt that it is one of the most important, if not the most right now. And like I said before, this is where I spend most of my time, is now on TikTok, not on Instagram. It's on TikTok and YouTube, and then Instagram is really kind of second, maybe third place. So let me know in the comments below if you are on TikTok. What are you doing? How often are you posting? What's been helping you? And any questions on TikTok you have, put them in the comments below. Any suggestions for future episodes, please let me know in the comments below. And with that, thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time on the Biz Talk.